I have to say, I never thought that I would literally fall in love with strangers. I am legit in love with you because why would I sit on the internet with no professional equipment? I don't have a camera, I don't have a tripod, I don't have lights. It's just like my old Samsung phone. I place it in front of me, I press play, and I start talking in my living room. Why would I do that and then ask you to support me and you actually support me? Like, I just started this channel and I was like, I need to get to 100 subscribers, and so far we are like at 96. And you guys actually come through and you like my videos and you comment. Thank you so much. I am legit in love with you. Welcome to yet another video. Now, I recently had this conversation on Instagram with someone, and this was my reply to him. So, first of all, just to give you a little bit of a background so you understand what even the story is, allegedly there was a guy who lived in 1836, and this is actually an unverified story. I haven't looked into this story, I haven't researched it, but allegedly a guy was working in he was working in a sewer. He used to dig into sewers, and he found a tunnel that led into the entrance of a bank's vault. So he followed this tunnel in the sewage system as a worker, and he went up into the bank's gold vault. And he was so shocked to see all that wealth. Like, if he wanted to, he could just take it with him. And so instead, he contacted the bank and asked for the meeting with a meeting with the directors. Somehow, he got granted the meeting, and then he showed up from the sewage system with a handful of gold. So now they knew that, hey, there's a security bridge here. We have to like block this tunnel. So that's the story, again, unverified. And so this people were saying like, oh, you mean the gold that Britain? This apparently allegedly happened in Britain. So somebody went like, oh, you mean the gold that Britain had just stolen from former colonies in Africa? And this smart mouth on Instagram, who goes by dope underscore a underscore meme, you can see it on your screen, replies to the person who asked this question and said, because Africa was making such good use of it. So he means like Africa deserved to be robbed anyway. They were not using the gold in the right way. See, this is the kind of ignorance that I will check immediately. And so this was my reply to him. I wrote, actually, Africa was making very good use of it. Read about ancient African civilizations. You smart mouth. Mansa Musa literally funded half of Europe when you were dying of lice and ticks on your bodies in the Dark Ages, and helped you accelerate to the Renaissance. The history they do not teach you, hence why smart mouths like you talk such garbage. Africans were there for you guys when you needed them the most, only for you to come back with colonization and theft. You see, a lot of people in Europe don't know about ancient African civilizations. That is something I have come to realize. They don't know about the governing systems that were there, the political systems that were there, the universities. They don't know about the money system, because they were taught that colonizers found a dark continent with nothing but like naked people running around the bushes. They legit bought that nonsense. They don't know about advanced mathematics. They don't know about the calendar, the very first monarchy on the African continent, Ethiopia. They don't know about the Great Zimbabwe. They've never even heard of Mansa Musa. They don't know any of this, because Western education carefully crafted to hide this from them, so that those who participated in enslaving others, in colonizing others, can then justify it as, quote unquote, civilizing the bush men and women who are running around with nothing better to do and sitting on gold. This is why he says that Africa was not really making use of their gold anyway. Like, he legit believes this. At some point, I don't even blame him, because it's just, he doesn't know. He's ignorant, but he thinks he knows it all. And then in comes another smart mouth. He goes by underscore the son underscore of underscore stan underscore, basically the son of, I guess, Satan. He says at Elizabeth Irungu Switi, which is my Instagram handle, you don't believe that. In response to what I just said to the first guy, this one says you don't believe that, and I immediately check the second guy and I say, not that I do not believe it, you do not believe it, because they hid it from you, fool. You simply do not know it because carefully crafted Eurocentric education made sure you will not hear of it. How do you explain Gedi ruins in my country, Kenya? Before any white man stepped foot on the African continent, they were actual cities with Arabs trading with us. And I put in brackets, documented history of Omani and Yemeni traders that Europeans have worked overtime to hide, but that have archaeological scientists, they are now proving this, right? Explain the great Zimbabwe Empire, Ethiopia, the very first monarchy on earth. Explain the West African city ruins or ruins of Southeast Africa with evidence of Africans sailing all the way to China in medieval times. They were going there to trade in medieval times. Explain Ashanti Empire's advanced governing systems or Ghana's universities way before any white man ever stepped foot on the African continent. You're too brainwashed. And I laughed at him. This is just shocking. He's shocked, that's all. You're too comfortable believing you're somehow superior, and this makes you uncomfortable. This discussion makes you uncomfortable. So you just flat out deny it. He just told me, you don't believe that. No, it's not, guys, it's not that I don't believe it. It's that he doesn't believe it. He doesn't know it. Anyways, back to the video. And see, I've had such conversations with people who only have, what can I call it, a carefully crafted Western education, like Eurocentric education, and they are legit brainwashed to think that that's the only education out there that matters or that exists. They don't know that there were civilizations before, way before Western civilizations, and you tell them this and it's news to them because they've been manipulated. There's a lot that has been left out of their history books, and it's been done by design. It's not a coincidence. So people who are greedy, maybe not them, not members of the general public, but those who are their leaders for centuries and have been greedy for centuries, want them to feel superior to others so they can keep on being prejudiced and discriminative to those who they deem inferior, and the greedy people can keep on benefiting from that hate. How members of the general public in the West still don't see the bigger picture sometimes baffles my mind. It's like mind blown. Step outside your continent for a minute. Visit the Middle East. Talk to people who don't look like you. Visit Arab nations. Visit the African continent, right? In this day and age of like the internet, you don't even have to physically go there. Virtually go there. There are tons of videos on TikTok, on Instagram of people traveling. Virtually go there. Historians putting out archaeological facts on the internet, facts that have been erased from history books, again, by people who wanted you to view them as superior. Just study, self-educate. You don't have to, like, education is not only attained behind the four walls of a classroom. Just read wide and large, question stuff. You don't even have to believe it, just question stuff. In Kenya, for instance, where I'm originally from, even though currently I'm sitting in my house in Austria, but in Kenya, where I'm from, we have something like Gedi ruins. Go and visit Gedi ruins. Go and touch the ruins of a medieval city, a forgotten city. Why is it there? It's because Africans, it's there, you can physically touch it. Why is there archaeological evidence there? Why? Ask yourself questions. Why is it not expounded? Maybe just a little bit mentioned in your history books, but why do they not go deep into these things? Who wrote your history? Ask your questions that. What was their target, their aim, right? If you go to Getty Ruins and you see a forgotten city, ask yourself, like, why is this here? I can give you a hint. Maybe Europeans were not the very first people on our continent, in our nations. Maybe we had functioning governments way centuries before they came there. Maybe our idea of civilization is not your idea of civilization, because I've come to this point in my life where I think a lot of Westerners confuse industrialization for civilization. They think if you have big buildings and a lot of money, it immediately means that you are civilized. Maybe there were other forms of civilization in humanity away from what you believe to be civilized. Family, a structure of traditions, culture, heritage. Have you stopped to consider that? I mean, just go to Getty Ruins and see it for yourself, and so many other archaeological, a lot of archaeological evidence that shows you that Africans had cities way before. I know it's something you cannot even fathom because you've been brainwashed to believe that no, they were in the darkness, they were in the dark ages, they did not know mathematics or science. And so now somebody telling you that maybe they had modern cities, maybe they had advanced medicine, is coming to you like a shock, like, no, my mind cannot handle that. But how about you just look at things from a neutral standpoint and question things? All these things, they tell you that we discovered this mountain. What do you mean you discovered a mountain? There were people living around that mountain, like just basic common sense. And they had names for those mountains that you later on called European names. But they were there and they had names. So like just think outside the box for a little bit and you will realize that there is active brainwashing. Active, not imagined, real, right? And you know what they say? That the victor is the one who writes history, the one who was victorious, right? The one who managed to steal the most, kill the most, loot the most, you know, SA people the most. They're the ones who want to paint themselves out as good. True, open up your mind to learning. I guess that's the video. And again, thank you so much for the people who've liked, who've subscribed. I will try and make more. I think I'm interested in not only political commentary, but like political history. I think I will like try and focus a little bit on that and see how that goes, because I'm passionate about it. It's something I actually want to do, something that I actually enjoy talking about. I read a lot, I read extensively. Maybe I can share some of my research. I think that's a little bit of my calling there, if I can call it that, that I like history. And thank you so much for the love, because so far it's been good. We are almost at 100 subscribers. We are like at 96. Let's push it to like 100, maybe even 110, because I'm trying to build a small community here of like real thinkers and people who want to share their ideas, ideologies, their philosophies, and who knows, maybe in our own little way we can help to like improve the world in our little communities and societies. Again, thank you for watching. And this is also a channel where I want us to have fun. Like I said, when it comes to the political world, I see a lot of sense on the right. If I were an American, I would vote Republican and not Democratic. I'm not a liberal. I'm not for those radical progressive things that I am seeing happening in the world. I would vote more for like the right policies of like God, family, right to protect yourself, free speech. I'm not for censorship. This is why I have a no block policy on this YouTube channel. I see a lot of sense on the right, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm a conservative who is going to sit here and judge people Candace Owens style and tell people that they don't even know what's good for them and be condescending. I don't want that. Let's have a little fun. Let's learn from each other. Let's correct one another with love. Again, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.